All right, what's up guys? I just want to properly introduce myself. My name is Juan and this is my car. It's the 2017 Honda Civic Coupe. It's the LX motor, or the LX trim with the K20C2 motor. As some of you guys may know, if you follow me on the community tab, I attempted to do an install on the K24 Manifold. Sorry if you guys hear cars passing by, my bad. But it's not really loud here, it's just a little bit of wind. We just had a storm pass by, so I'm gonna wash this car later on today once the sun goes down a little bit. It's kind of dirty. But yeah, this is my manifold. I tried to do an install, it failed. I'm gonna get to why. But yeah, this is it. Still the same setup as last time. I'm not on E40 anymore. I'm back on 91. And I'm pretty happy because my gas mileage is a lot better now. And that's pretty much why I went back to 91, was because it got annoying to guess how much you had to put in the tank. Yeah, like I can put it right when it's near empty, but there were instances where I had to go on long drives where it's like I need a full tank and I'll have like 30% left, and I was like, how much do I put in? Yeah, it just got a hassle. I wish they had a flex fuel kit dedicated for this car, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that. No one's making them, so yeah, that's about it. So that's that. So then here, this is what you guys all came for, right? So about a year ago, I had this manifold ported. Oh man. Okay, so then I wanted to get this done, and I did a lot of research from how the install process worked. But then when it came time to install it, man, everything I read on the forums is not as simple as it seems. There is a lot more stuff you got to do to get this thing installed, and a lot of modding that you have to do to get this to work, that unfortunately I did not find online until I had to DM one person who actually helped me throughout the entire process. Shout out to Romeo Ridge. But holy shit guys. Okay, so what happened? So for you to do this install, you need this. This is a map extension harness. I bought it on kpower.com. I don't have the link to it, but if I can, I'll put it on the comment section. You need this to get this to work, because if you don't, good luck. You're not gonna be able to turn on your car without a harness connected to your map sensor, because there are some obstacles that were not told to me, that's not on the forums, that I had to find out. So on the K20C2 manifold, the map extension, the map connector is right here. The one on this manifold for the K24 is all the way up here. You see that? If you don't have this project will never work, because the one on the C2, the connector's all the way here with the cable to plug into this side. So you need this. Now, once you have this, then you'll be able to make this work. But there's a catch. The harness doesn't plug in here. You need to modify this thing. So from here, it starts to get a little tedious, because if you don't have a Dremel tool, you can't make this work. You have to shave down the grooves. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera. But yeah, you have to shave down the grooves, and you got to keep that little tab in the middle right there, because otherwise you can't click when you connect, and then you'll have to zip tie your shit, which you don't really want to do, because, well, I don't know, it seems like extra work just to protect yourself from having this thing unplug itself if this won't click. And then you also got to shave down the side grooves. You got to get it as flush as possible to get this to click, because if not, you can't plug in your map extension harness to the K24 manifold, and bam, you're back to square one again, where this install won't work. So no one told me about this. I only found out because I messaged the guy, Romeo Ridge, to how he did the workaround. And then he showed me how it was supposed to work. I was like, oh wow, it wasn't on the forums. So okay, so we figured that part out. That's issue one. And issue two, my first time attempting the install, I forgot to bring the bracket for the throttle body on this. Okay, we'll put this back here and I'll get to why. All right, problem number 3 was, since that this is a bigger manifold, you're gonna have clearance issues, of course. But this was not mentioned on the forums, so, or anywhere online. These are little bolt patterns that you have for this heat shield to come in, because every manifold that comes on the K24 has this heat shield, and you can tell because it's got foam in here. So the one in the K20C2, it doesn't come with it, at least mine doesn't. So yeah, when you try to slide in your manifold after removing everything, your throttle body, intake, and your C2 manifold, this has got to slide in, but it won't because you just don't have enough space. There's not enough space to slide that in there. You got to take out everything. You got to take out all this crud, fuel injectors, everything. You got to take off a lot of shit. Okay, so what we had to do was our Dremel ended up breaking, so we had like some kind of saw grinder, and I had to hold the manifold so it doesn't shake and cut any of the runners. And you got to cut this off, this, and this. This one doesn't get in the way, so we left that alone. Then you got to seal up the vacuum hose or whatever this was that was here with the plug that I had to buy off O'Reilly's. I forgot the size, but just buy the vacuum cover plugs that is for multiple sizes just in case. That's what I had to buy. Once we had this cut, we were able to slide in the manifold, but there's another problem. These things, this bolt pattern is the same as the C2. The problem is the car, the studs, they won't go through these. So I had to remove these. There was only two ways to work around it. Either you drill the holes to make the holes wider, which I was told that you had to go through a machine shop and have it drill press go through, which I'm like, no, it's just, that's too much work. And I know how these shops in California work. They're annoying and they don't really want to do any of these small type of jobs. They want to make money here. So it's like, fuck that. So I just took a socket and I hammered them all out. And if you guys call me crazy, there's still a fix to it. You just got to go through, put a washer in each one, and it'll squish through, no problems. All right, another problem. The bracket from the manifold, this is from the C2. On YouTube, there was a guy that said that you need support brackets. I don't know if he's talking about this, but this is absolutely cap. You do not need this. This will only get in the way when you try to install the manifold. So we took off the one that was in the C2. You don't need that anymore. It doesn't serve a purpose. You really don't have to worry about it, but this has to come off if you want this to get in there, because otherwise you run into clearance issues and you can't get it to work. All right, so once we were able to put this in the car, now it came time for the throttle body. As you can see, this is all supported. This was also part of the car, so just pretend it's on there. So I think it was like this, yeah, something like that. So when we try to put in the throttle body, it wouldn't go because the throttle body was making contact with this brake fluid reservoir. And you can see right here, yeah. When you have the bigger manifold installed, this is gonna stick out more. And when you have it, it's gonna be touching that almost. This gets in the way. So what you gotta do is you gotta take off this cover, toss that aside, it's trash. Just like this one, bam. Then you can finally install your throttle body onto here without making contact with the brake fluid reservoir. And then these go in as well, and yada yada. Okay. So then the next problem, this shit right here. So on the C2, they have like their own cable and it has all this plastic casing around it. The problem is, if you don't take, it's kind of hard to see here. You see that right there? You gotta take off that cover on that you see that angled curve? That's got to come off on the C2's cable connector. Otherwise, you're going to be hitting the brake master cylinder pretty bad. And you don't want that. So you got to take off that plastic so that way you can plug this in without touching anything in the car. And then you're good to go. All right. Which again, that was not mentioned on the forums. That was not mentioned on YouTube or anywhere. Because if it was online, I would have already known about it, but I didn't. So it made me look dumb because I thought it was gonna be a bolt-on install and bam, we're good. But nope, it wasn't. Okay, this thing. So when you do this install, I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. Woo, oh lordy. So when you do this install, guys, yeah, this is the C2 intake tube, the silicone tube. You cannot run your aftermarket intake on this manifold unless you go super custom, but the only one that I found is that you can only run the stock intake on this, and it is true because you're able to cut this. I had to cut this open because this thing is 55 millimeters. Oh, I'm sorry, no, 60. This is 60 millimeters. It says back here. Yep, 60. It's the same size as the one in the Type Art. Theirs is also 60, and the one on the K20C2, it's 55. So these intakes were all designed to fit the throttle body of the C2. Well, duh, that's what it was for. For this to work, I had to cut just enough material to barely slide this in. You still have to like push in with some power to get it in. And yeah, no one told me about that, so I just said fuck it. Boom, clamp it down with the hose clamp, and that way nothing leaks, everything's fine. I tried to do it with the PRL intake, but the silicone on that is a little too stiff, and I didn't want to ruin my intake just in case the project failed, because as you guys know, this is still my daily driver and I don't want to be doing some crazy shit, which in this case I was with this car. Okay, so then, moment of truth, we put the intake back together. And we start the car. I'm gonna try to find out how to edit this video because I had a clip when I first did it. When I started the car, it sounded perfectly fine. It sounded like stock. All right. Sounded like stock because the intake was gone. I'm back to stock, but the manifold made things louder. About 10 seconds in, 30 seconds in, the check engine light turns on, and my friend had he had the scanner, and it read a code of P2135, which is voltage error. So then some of you guys were like, did you do any live data? No. Problem was my K-tuner is no good. Every time I connect it to the car, it constantly disconnects itself, so I can't even like data log. Like if I try to and I move just a slight smidge on the OBD port where the K-tuner is connected to, the USB cable just disconnects itself, and it's annoying. So, and I try to contact K-tuner. They told me I have to send them $30 through something, I don't know, but to start the repair process, which for right now I'm like, I don't have time. You guys know I'm in school. So then the voltage on this thing, well, what it told me was this is pretty much a shitty throttle body, or that it was giving too much voltage to the car. What ended up happening was that 30 seconds later, my car started to choke itself from how much air it was getting in. I was like, nope, I have to put everything back to stock. You can't drive the car if it's not reacting well to it. So I never even got to drive the car to see if it made gains. That was the most disappointing part. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't think anybody has done this install correctly to where they're still running it till this day. The first guy who did this back in 2016, he had to revert back to the OEM C2 intake manifold because, what the heck? He had the same problem. He had the same problem with the throttle body giving too much voltage to the car, and he thought it was the throttle body being broken, but no. because when you buy parts off eBay, usually they're pretty good, otherwise they wouldn't sell it. Because I bought this alongside with the Manifold, and he tried to buy another one, but he never did a follow-up post. And then the other guy that did it, he told me that it got in the way of the catch can, so he had to revert back to everything stock. He never even got to drive the car. So it's like, okay, so I'm pretty much the third guy to do it, but I'm the first one with the ported setup. The thing is, I spent 6-7 hours doing this whole project, all in one sitting, trying to figure out shit. And so I don't want to turn this into a rant, but had I known that all these obstacles had to be done or had to get out of the way, I would have never have attempted this project, guys. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I would have done this if I had a second car. This is not something you can do in a single day unless you already watched this video and you guys seen what I have done to get this to work, because I had this shit installed. It sounded good, but I couldn't drive it. And I got so mad because I spent money paying people to get this to work for me, because I don't have the mechanical experience to mess with all my stuff in the car, because this is my daily. I don't want to break anything, and I don't have the tools either. So I just went with someone who knows what they're doing, and we found a lot of fixes for it. I'm just being honest here, guys. Like, it's not a simple bolt-on install, and I'm upset because I was so close, only to find out that that thing was not it. I was told that I had to get the, what was it, the Civic Type R throttle body kit. It's the same size as that one, but it probably won't give too much voltage, whereas this one was meant for a 2.4 displacement motor, right? It wasn't made for our car. So the car didn't respond well to it. It rejected it pretty much. So if anyone says that they ran it, it's cap. Well, at least I was the third guy to do it, but not driving it. So I don't even know if this thing's gonna make gains. So say, for instance, if I get the Type R throttle body, will this work? Maybe. But I probably have to tune this thing if I get this installed, because if it threw a check engine light, who's to say it throws another one for too much air? I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I'm not gonna attempt this project anymore. I'm gonna wait till I have graduated college. I'm about to be a respiratory therapist, as some of you guys may know, and I have to study for board exams, so I don't have time to do any of this. I sacrificed time to get this project to work, praying that this was going to work, only to fail again, because I tried this twice. And if I'm going to do this a third time, it has to be until I have that big boy job and the income to support it, because I can't be spending money on car mods anymore. You know, I only have it for gas, bills, food, and all the miscellaneous thing that comes with life. But I can't do it on car mods right now because I don't work a lot, because I'm mostly at home studying and at school doing clinicals and in class, of course. So I'm sorry. I know you guys been waiting for like a long ass time. I'm really sorry, guys. I try to do the community good by, it's just, if it was really easy, this would have been all over on the internet, but it's not. A lot of the stuff I had to find out was, you'll never find it until here on this video. So yeah, so what will happen is I need to get a Type R throttle body and pray that it doesn't throw a check engine light and that the car responds well to it. Probably get a tune going, but I have to fix my K tuner as well, so that way I can connect it and see the live data and how the fuel trims look. But as of right now, do not attempt to do this install unless you have 2 days of free time, because you're gonna have no car for a long amount of time. Unless you have the tools and you have a second guy to help you quick, then yeah, go for it. But had I known about it, I would never have done it. But that's about it, guys. I'm sorry. I tried my best with it, but it's just gonna be put on hold. Just for right now, I'm not really interested in trying it because I'm already pretty good with it. The car's not that slow. I can keep up with the 1.5 liter. Like, it's not that slow versus when I had it stock. Like, it's okay. I just want to make it nicer. I want to put the side skirts that I bought, the HFP ones, wheel spacers. I want a carbon hood, you know, like stuff that makes my car nicer. And yeah, I can't do that when I'm wasting time doing power mod stuff. But hey, you know, at least I tried. At least I tried. That's the best thing I could say. But yeah, let me know if you guys have questions, because trust me, just ask me questions. I can tell you everything you need to know. If I missed something about this install that didn't make sense to you, just ask me and I will tell you the truth. The only reason why I didn't want to make this video was because I never finished it. Like I got the car to run for a few seconds, but it ran poorly. So I don't even know if this was gonna work or not, but I'll try again, but with a better throttle body. This time I won't port it. I don't think it'll make a difference, but yeah, yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's about it. I'll see y'all on the next one.
I'm failing you.
Fuck! No! Sorry, my bad.
So uncivilized.